Good evening, SICW fans. Here we are for another night of Sunday Night Wrestling. Herb, I couldn't join you last week, but I'm glad to be back and here to talk more wrestling on Sunday night.
Well, we enjoy these Sunday night updates. Our fans know where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And it's been great. As you know, I just returned from up at Waterloo, Iowa. And what a great weekend we had up there for the annual Hall of Fame inductee at the Tragus Hall of Fame. You've got to put that on your bucket list if you haven't ever been up to Waterloo, Iowa. It's a great time. We got in early this morning and had to get here to do the show.
Absolutely. You got to get ready for it, and because there's more wrestling to come. But let's talk a little bit about that trip. I know I got to see some pictures and some stuff. Tell us what it was like up there, shaking hands with the greats.
Well, and that's it. You know, greats to show up there for the induction ceremony, and it's always great. Our good friend Troy Peterson from Impact Pro Wrestling puts on a fine wrestling card. But there you see on the screen a couple of legends right there. Our good friends Jerry Briscoe and Tony Gurria was there, along with our other good friends. Barbara Goodish made the trip in again. It's always anytime Barbara is with us, it's fun. I can tell you, her and Darla Staggs and Marcy and just a whole host of people that you don't get to see all the time. We stay in contact through social media or phone calls, but just to go up there and sit around and talk the business and see all the fans. And I think what was amazing again this year is the people who are following SICW. I was having people come up and say, hey, can I get our picture with you? And I didn't even know who some of them were, but got to know them real quick because that's how wrestling fans are. So like I said, and our good friend Brian Blair from the Cauliflower Alley, the president, always makes the trip in, and it was good seeing Brian. In fact, he had a match there Friday night. Says it was his last match, but most of the guys, these legends, it's hard for them to hang their boots up, but he had a match, and we'll see if he is hanging the boots up. But he was there at the ceremony last night, and actually they made a contribution from the Cauliflower Alley Club to the museum there in Waterloo, Iowa. They work close together, so you know I encourage you to check out not only the Waterloo, Iowa Museum, but the Cauliflower Alley, because those are two great organizations, especially at the CAC. They do so much for the wrestlers that they're down on their luck. So
absolutely. Now there was a special event for the first time, someone getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. The first female wrestler to be inducted into the Hall of Fame there in Waterloo, Iowa, was there, and you know what a young lady she was. Very pleasant. Fans just swarmed all over her, getting autographs and pictures, and what an honor to have Beth as the first female inductee into the Hall of Fame there in Waterloo, Iowa. And I tell you,
you talk about missing some friends here. Darla Staggs says she misses you already. And there's Barbara, her as well, but she's still sitting in Charlotte Airport.
Oh, well, have a safe trip, Barbara. See, you should have drove back with us, and then we could have got you into St. Louis, and you could have got out there. Been a lot easier. But she's on the road a lot. Barbara's of appearances, and of course, you know, her late great husband, our good friend Bruiser Brody. There were still people up there wearing Bruiser Brody shirts and wrestling at the Chase shirts. So, but back to the guest that was there. A good young wrestler that was in the Kansas City area for many years. In fact, one of Jerry's first tag team partners, Thunderbolt Patterson. It was good catching up with Thunderbolt. And I'll tell you what, not only was he a good worker in his day, but he's a good preacher right now, because he stole the show at the acceptance speech and kind of told the fans there what it was like back in the 60s, traveling on the roads with Jerry Briscoe in the Deep South, when the time of the racial tensions was so hard back then, and to hear him and Jerry talk about those. But it was great just to listen to Thunderbolt talk, and so appreciative to being inducted into the Hall of Fame up there. So a great guy, and congratulations to our friend Thunderbolt. And of course, one of the all-time greats. When the Sarge is in the house, everybody stands up to attention, and boy, he did that last night. In fact, but told his story about how his career got started. And of course, I put a little tease out there asking how many fans would love to see Sergeant Slaughter come to SICW, and the response has been overwhelming, which I knew it would be. So I know we got a busy schedule for the rest of this year, and as we wind down after 46 years, it would be great to get Sergeant Slaughter in here. We have tapes of him when he first started wrestling at the Chase.
Maybe for your farewell show in December, if the retirement is a real thing.
Very good. Sergeant Slaughter would be a way to have everybody stand at attention and give him that last command. He did great last night. It was fun.
I remember seeing him up there in Las Vegas at Cauliflower Alley, and just a tremendous man, a great legend. And
our good friend Baron von Roschke was there, and his lovely wife Bonnie. Of course, we just had them in at the fairgrounds a few weeks back, and Baron's always a treat anywhere he's at. Eugene, WWE legend, was there, had a good match. I had a good talk with Eugene. We may be seeing him in the next couple of months here in SICW. He's really interested in coming in, so we'll see what happens there. But, it was such a great trip. I can't thank my co-pilot, my wife. She makes those trips with me and make sure I don't get lost because sometimes I get sidetracked when I'm driving on the road, and I get to thinking,
there's always some future going on up there.
Got to have a co-pilot, and she does a great job.
We talked about your retirement, and I shouldn't have brought it up because they're getting on you now. One says you're not going to retire. That's your sister. And Brian Dingus says you can't retire until you say you've done 50.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've done 50. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate the vote of confidence. But that was the topic of conversation with a few people up there. And again, the fans from all over that came to Waterloo, Iowa. And, I was getting some text messages from some of them that were going back home today. Everybody checking to make sure I got back home, and they come from all over. And with social media the way it is today, that's how you keep in touch with these great fans. And we really appreciate all the fans that we have all over that follow SICW. It's really rewarding to know that people from Milwaukee and Philadelphia and people like that. Our friend Charlie Hartman, I seen a post that he put on yesterday. He hurt his shoulder, and I told him he's got to get better because we got a big show coming up in November. He's got to get better for. So we're all over. We're touching people all over, and that's what's good about it.
Absolutely, and this is a way that 46 years ago you couldn't get out.
No.
And look at us now.
Yeah, 46 years ago, nobody could even say social media.
But we need to talk about a little wrestling that's coming up here in the future.
Yeah, it's August 17th is what we're working for now. As we say many, many times in the business, you go from one show to another, and that's what it's all about. And August the 17th back here in the East Cronley Community Center is our next big card. And I'll tell you, it's just it's going to be a war. That's the only thing I can say. These two men dislike one another, and I'm talking about the Mongolian monster Attila Khan, who we've seen beat up not only one man, two men, three men. We saw him put Tommy Dreamer from the ECW through a table, beat him, and then instead of talking about, let's show you a little bit why August the 17th is going to be an all-out war.
Yes! We need help, blood! Yes! Somebody help us!
And that action all took place after Ricky Cruz defeated the self-proclaimed king of SICW, King Christopher Hargis. Attila Khan attacked him from behind and put him in that, whatever he calls it, that death grip from behind.
It looked like a chokehold.
Chokehold, and I mean, he wasn't going to let it go. You can see the locker room came out and tried to get him off. Referee couldn't do it. But like I said, that was after the match was over. Ricky and Hargis had a great match for the SICW title. Ricky retained the title, was kind of celebrating with the fans a little bit, and of course, what Attila Khan does the best of is attacking from behind. He takes no prisoners, and of course, you saw there. That's why I wanted to show you that footage. But now let's take a listen to what is prompting August the 17th to come up.
SICW fans, I am here with your still SICW Classic Wrestling Champion, King of Chaos, Ricky Cruz. Mr. Cruz, what a night. It was a heck of a match. You and King Christopher Hargis, back and forth, that you retained your title. But who could have known, seconds later, from behind, the monster Attila Khan attacking you from behind, putting you in that submission hold, damaging your throat, I believe. Herb Simmons has made it official after you requested it. August the 17th, East Carondelet Community Center, Ricky Cruz defends this title against the monster from Mongolia, Attila Khan. Ricky, I guess, how are you feeling after this vicious attack? And second of all, why would you want to put the belt on the line against someone like Attila Khan?
That's the only way. You're going to have to excuse me because I can barely speak. That's the only way that Travis was going to make this match happen. Now, Travis Circus is growing. Now he has some POD and a monster from Mongolia. Now everybody's scared of Attila Khan. Attila Khan, I ain't scared of you. You think you're all that in a bag of chips? I don't care. You're going to learn who the King of Chaos is. You're going to learn how we do things in Puerto Rico. You're going to learn why they call me the King of Chaos. You made a big mistake. I'm sorry I can't even speak. I'm so mad. Attila Khan! You want to attack me from behind? Do it in front of me. Now you have the opportunity to take this belt. You think you're good enough? You think you're all that? You think you're so bad? My friend, may God take mercy on your soul. Because August 17th, the King of Chaos, the champion in SICW, will not.
Well, there you see, he left Dr. Drew speechless. You can see, you can hear in his voice
What's left of his
what's
voice.
left of his voice. Ricky Cruz demanded a match with Attila Khan at the earliest convenience, which is August the 17th. When I talked to him about the title, he said, I don't care about the title on the line, but he's coming there to try to put an end. You heard him. Everybody's scared of Attila Khan. Well, I got the news. I don't think Ricky Cruz is scared.
No,
of him.
and someone has got to stop the shenanigans of the Travis Cook organization. And we saw a little bit of that happen. And now maybe this is another piece of that puzzle.
Well, Travis Cook, the TCO, as you heard Ricky say, it's growing. And he's got a Mongolian monster. He's got this newcomer, Cortez, POD, as they call him. And I don't know where it's going to stop. When you've got the money, I guess
He just brought back the Iron Man.
Just brought back the Iron Man, which I'm still scratching my head over that because we all know the Iron Man, former SICW champion, also doesn't need to be a part of the TCO. He can go out and he's proven himself time and time again that he knows how to take care of business. Why he wanted to go back over with the TCO, that's something he's got to live with. So I understand what Ricky's saying. The TCO is growing, but somebody and somewhere has got to put a stop to it.
Well, and you mentioned it last week on the show. Like I said, I couldn't join. I was out of town, but here we are back on the regular Sunday night. I think we need to take a little step back to the July matches in East Carondelet and see how Flash Flanagan took a little piece of the Travis Cook organization back.
Well, and if you notice, there was a person that wasn't at ringside when Attila charged in the ring and jumped on Ricky Cruz. Normally, Travis Cook would be out there, but let's show you a little footage of why he was absent from that main event that night.
Indianapolis, Indiana, 230 pounds, Flash Flanagan.
Well, I'm not sure exactly how this all works, but did I just see Flash Flanagan collect his own bounty?
He took $1,000 from Travis Cook, and of course he thought that was going to be it. And you've seen he took and stuck it in his pants. So is payback there?
Wow.
You know what can you say? He took the money, but then what happened is that Flash Flanagan fought fire with fire.
Delivered that infamous fireball that was created by the Travis Cook organization.
And that's why Travis Cook was absent from ringside later on. And of course, I've been hearing from him since that night.
Probably wants to sue you, doesn't he?
Wants to sue Flash Flanagan. He wants him barred. He brought up about years ago back at wrestling in St. Louis when the Sheik came in and threw a fireball, and Sam Muchnick barred him and was never allowed back in. And which he's true about that. That's a true statement. But
maybe you should do Facebook has these polls now. Maybe you should create a poll and see what the fans want you to do.
Yeah, well, I got a feeling that the polls would be overwhelmingly. Flash Flanagan is a legend himself, and he was full of all the shenanigans that Travis Cook has proven over the years, and he said he was going to get even with him, and by gosh, he took his money, and I don't want to say he ran with it because Flash is still here, and I don't think Travis is going to be happy, and no, he's not going to get the money back. He'll have to collect it from Travis if he thinks he's going to. So Travis Cook, kudos to you, Travis. You can continue to keep complaining, but it just goes to show you can't keep messing with fire because you get burnt.
Yeah, and he got burnt.
He got burnt. He sure did.
Well, Herb, let's talk a little bit about something else you've made known coming up is the multi-state tag titles that are currently held by Guerrilla Warfare that can be defended all over multi-states, here in Illinois, in Missouri, down in Tennessee. So you're creating a new title.
Yes, tag titles were never big in St. Louis. Just it wasn't there. Sam never had tag team titles, and but this is 2019, and for the rest of the year, we are going to have our own tag titles. As you said, the multi-state tag titles are still in operation. They're held currently by Guerrilla Warfare, the Big Texan, and Waco. But these here will be the SICW tag titles, and we will have them on hand on August the 17th, and there will be a match next week. On our update, we'll have a lot more of the matches signed for August the 17th, but we wanted to show our fans and followers tonight what the new SICW Tag Team Champion title belts look like, and you'll be seeing them around
Just
for the
another
next 5-6 months.
great reason to come out to SICW, and if there already wasn't enough action, now there's one more prize for these wrestlers to push for.
Well, and there's a lot of tag teams out there, the ones professionals. Those guys live and breathe tag team competition. They'll work single matches, but they've worked together for so many years as a tag team, and they are a force to be reckoned with. That's why they hold the multi-state tag team titles. The newly combination we saw back at the fairgrounds of Gil Rogers and Gary Jackson, Night Train.
That's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Those guys are gelling together real well also. There's just groups out there, and from other organizations, other federations, I've been getting calls from a tag team saying, hey, we understand that you're going to have SICW tag titles, so, we'd be interested in coming in. So we'll see. We'll see how interesting we can make it for the next 5 months or so, and it's always the fans really are enjoying. In fact, I get a lot of text messages and emails saying, hey, they're good-looking belts. We can't wait to see them, and can't wait to see how they're going to be determined who's going to get them. Well, show up August the 17th in the East Fond du Lac Community Center, and somebody's going to be the first crowned SICW tag team title.
It's going to be a night to remember, and there's many more great shows coming up this year, particularly a return to Cahokia in September.
Well, we always like the return trips to our organizations that we help out. For 46 years we've been helping, and you've heard us say this before. We help fire departments, police departments, the civic organizations. This will be our second year going back to Cahokia, Illinois, to the Holy Family Church on September the 7th. We'll be coming back there, helping them with a fundraiser. And, of course, we're going to be bringing in one of the all-time greats. I knew him back before he became the $1 Million Man. I'm speaking of Ted DiBiase. And he will be at the Holy Family Gymnasium on Saturday, September the 7th, as we help them with their fundraiser.
Let's take a look. Finally, somebody that's going to come in and wave around more money than the Travis Cook organization.
Well, the $1 Million Man, for those of you who have been fans and knew him back when he was just Ted DiBiase, when he wrestled all over, and we were fortunate in St. Louis to get him here. He's been in for SICW multiple times, but once again, we called him and he said, sure, it's for a good cause for the church. Ted's really big on helping out church organizations, so he'll be here. There'll be a meet and greet before the show that evening, so call that number 618-337-4548 and get your tickets early, because this is going to be a great show. We'll have a great lineup that night, and the $1 Million Man will be there in Cahokia, Illinois.
Well, something we try and keep up to date with and keep all the information posted, but just make sure the SICW is getting updated. Let's take a look at all the matches that are coming up for the rest of this year and show the fans how this year is shaping up to be better than ever before. And every month you've got some incredible action.
Yes, we do. We talked about August the 17th in East Grand Lake Community Center. We talked about September the 7th at the Holy Family Church in Cahokia, Illinois. Special guest Ted DiBiase. But then we moved to September 21st back at the East Grand Lake Community Center, the monthly show that we have there. September the 28th, another repeat fundraiser. We help the St. Clair Special Emergency Services. That's our group of highly trained volunteers that help us in time of disasters. They have a search rescue team, canine, hazmat team, you name it. These are highly trained men and women that are volunteers, and we're helping them again this year raise some much need. And that will be held at the Swansea Firehouse on Saturday, September the 28th. October 19th, back in East Grand Lake at the Community Center. And then a big one, November the 2nd, back at the Swansea Fire Department. And how many years is that now, Brian?
This will be our 6th show.
6th year at the Swansea Fire Department. And got two, not one, we got two legends. J.J. Dillon was there last year with us.
Correct.
Did a great job.
So good, we want him to come back.
So good, he's coming back, but he's not coming by himself. This year, with the help of my good friend Charlie Hartman from Gimmick Tree Entertainment, that we're bringing in one of the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson. We were trying to get the Four Horsemen in, but their schedule is so tough, it's hard to do. But so we're going to bring J.J. Dillon, the man that held the Four Horsemen together, and also Arn Anderson. And then we move to, what's the next date there?
November 16th.
November the 16th, East Grand Lake Community Center. And this time, my good friend, the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, will be joining us at the East Grand Lake Community Center. For those of you fans that remember the Boogie Woogie Man, he's still out there and he's still doing it. And you'll see him at the East Grand Lake Community Center on November the 16th. November the 23rd, we've been invited to help the Little Devils in Belleville for their fundraiser at Citizens Park. We can't wait to do that. This is an organization that helps the kids, and we're really excited. They have a wrestling team, and you name it, and they have, I forgot how many children they said they have in that organization, but there's a lot of kids that they're helping.
And they show up quite often.
They show up at some
at
of
the
our shows.
SICW action.
So on November the 23rd, we're going to help them raise some much needed funds for the Little Devils fundraiser. And then December the 28th, as we close out 2019, we'll be back at the East Grand Lake Community Center right after Christmas, right before New Year's. So we never know what's going to happen at our big December show with the scheduling. So that's going to be December the 28th. And that will bring us to the close of 2019. And it's been a busy year.
It's been a very busy year. And it seems like for the years I've been around and been involved in this, as the year moves on, it just gets busier.
Well, and I think the reason is because, I always use the saying that the wrestling business is like baking the cake. You have to have all the ingredients. And of course, we have to have great fans. And we do. We have the greatest fans in the Midwest at SICW. They follow us everywhere we go. But then you got to have the talent. And, when you look at Night Train Gary Jackson, you look at the Guerrilla Warfare, you look at Flash Flanagan, Iron Man Ken Casa, and you look at the SICW champion Ricky Cruz, the King of Chaos. You look at the young talent that we have in the Ace Wrestling Academy. that Sean Vincent, our ambassador for SICW, and Cowboy Bob Orton and Ricky Cruz comes over. We've got several of those young men in there that are really busting their behind to start off the right way and to learn this business because, a lot of the workers out there now are getting older, so we have to train a new generation to do it. So my hat's off to those young men that are coming down there and being taught the right way by the likes of a WWE legend and Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. and then by Sean Vincent, our our ambassador for SICW. So we have that, but then we have these organizations that want to raise money.
Absolutely.
And they call us and say, "Hey, we saw you helped out this organization. Can you help us?" And of course, we always take a look at it, and I give them my honest opinion on whether I think we can do it or not. And we've been successful in helping them do that. Millstadt, Swansea Fire Department, people like that, and we go back year after year after year.
When you've been in Caseyville, you've been in Fairmont City.
State Park Fire Department, we help them. So it's been great. If I listed all the organizations for the last 46 years that we've helped, it would fill this table. And we're proud of that. We're proud that
as you should be.
It's something that, speaking from the fire department side of it.
Every year it's like, hey, when can we start planning for the next one?
Yeah, the funds that you raise goes for a good cause and helping the men and women. But it's been great. It's fun. You got to experience the Cauliflower Alley this year. Several people from our area went out there. It's a great time. I encourage you to stay tuned and get more information on that for next year, because whether SICW is here or somebody will be here, Cauliflower Alley is going to be there forever and ever because it's a great cause. The Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa is going to be there because it's for a great cause. I encourage you to join those organizations. The Cauliflower Alley you join for $25 a year. You got to look at that. I mean, help support these wrestlers who entertained us for many, many years, especially the ones that are down on their luck. Some of them don't have insurance, and the Cauliflower Alley steps up to the plate. So we're geared up. You heard August 17th. I can tell you, if you do have plans, you ought to cancel them, because August 17th, you need to be at the East Carolina Community Center and see if Ricky Cruz, the King of Chaos, can put a stop to the Mongolian monster, Attila Khan. That's Saturday, August the 17th. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Bell time will be at 7. We want to see you there.